Hello, welcome to McBoss Capital channel. My name is Michael Chu. This is market recap for the week ending May 16, 2025. Last weekend we have Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent was holding trade talks with the Chinese. And now what happened over the weekend is that they came with a deal that China goods will face 30% tariff, and then China will also slash its tariff to 10%. So that is from 145% to 130 and 125% to 10%. So that was a really big news, and the market really happy about it. Let's jump to the Nasdaq composite here. We have this huge update on Monday. It was a strong gap up, and then it just closed even stronger, giving it a 4.35% rise on that day. And so very powerful rise because it jumped above the 200-day moving average, the black line right there. We came out with the CPI, the core CPI inflation continues to cool as it dropped to 2.3%. So that is good news for the market. So the market then followed through on Tuesday as well. So another big jump on that day, giving it up, Nasdaq up 1.6%. Morning, Fed Powell said that higher real rates may reflect the possibility that inflation could be more volatile going forward than in the crisis period of the 2010s. We may enter a period of more frequent and potentially more persistent supply shocks, a difficult challenge for the economy and central banks. So the market kind of went down in the morning, but then it kind of recovered. Also, the producer price index came out to be 0.5%, and this is a 0.7% drop in service prices. So there's also a big drop there. So here's Wednesday, we went up a little bit more, and then Thursday, let's say we were low on the morning, and then we kind of came back up a little bit. It was still a down day on Thursday, and then Friday was another quiet day. It just kind of was flat for most of the day, and then was able to close up near the end of the day here. So here's the bounce again and the bounce again. So far this market has basically provide opportunity for every little dip here. On the weekly chart, you can see a huge gap up right here, and for the week it ended at up 7%. So this is a very strong week. Let's go look at S&P. Also very similar chart, up 5.27%, and this one actually up 5 days for the whole week. Looking at Dow also came up, but much less, 3.4%. And we actually saw Monday up, but then it fell Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday morning. Came back up by end of day Thursday, and then surpassed the 200-day line on Friday. Looking at Russell, we also have a huge gap up right here, and then on Tuesday, and then came down again, similar to Dow, went down till Thursday morning, and then bounced back on Friday to new high. So again, quite bullish signal here. So there is a definition by IBD called the stock market power trend, and it basically has started for S&P and Nasdaq. So the price low has to be above 21-day moving average for at least 10 days. So if we go back to the chart here, the 21 days, the pink line right here. So if we start counting like from here, so you can see 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So basically on Wednesday around there, we have started the power trend because it's been over 10 days since above the 2021 day. And then the 21 day has to be above the 50 day for at least 5 days. So the 10 day, which is the green line, has to be above the 21 day for at least 5 days. So that also satisfies. Oh, sorry, it meant 21 day. Sorry, let me go back to this. This is the pink line. 21 day has to be above the 50 day, which is the red line. So you can start counting Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So Friday is officially when the power trend start based on that one criteria. 50 days is now also coming back up. So that's in the uptrend. And market is up for the day. So on Friday. So there you go. Now the power trend could end when the 21 day cross back below the 50 day. So that's when this pink line could potentially come back below the 50-day line here. Okay. So that brings us to the next topic here. And throughout the week on my live broadcasts, for those who watch them, I have been talking about how we have, this uptrend very strong, but it has pullback. So right here is the first one, and then here's the second one, and so far we haven't seen the third one yet. And from the peak to each pullback peak, you can see we are very extended. Like we haven't had a pullback for this vertical pricing movement. So there's a high chance for a pullback coming up this week. And going to Google and you punching QQQ stock here, I can see the futures on the Nasdaq 100 ETF here is down 1.3%. And this is a very sharp drop, and this drop came because, so basically what happened is IBD noted in the market today, Dow Jones futures after U.S debt rating downgrade, QQQ. So here are the details. Moody downgrade U.S sovereign credit rating. Moody's Investor Service downgrade U.S government credit rating from top level AAA to AA1, saying this reflects the increase over more than a decade in government debt and interest payment ratios to levels that are significantly higher than similar rated sovereigns. That comes more than a year after Moody lowered its outlook for the U.S debt rating to negative. Fitch Ratings and S&P Global Ratings have already stripped the U.S government of their top credit ratings. The move comes as Congress works on a huge tax spending bill, and that is expected to add to the federal deficit significantly. So this is probably what caused the market to drop quite a bit on Friday after hours. This will most likely carry into Monday's opening. So there's a high chance any stocks will drop. Now the question is like how far will it drop, right? So that's the next question. So personally, for all my stocks, I do have stops and they're pretty tight. Most like at least half the positions have tight stops. And then the other half might have a little bit wider stops. And you can see even on the index, the 10-day moving average is pretty far in terms of the gap. So they do, like I said, they do pull back to the 10-day. So that will be quite a bit of a pullback if it does come all the way back to 10-day. So be mindful of that, and it could again possibly bounce from there. But if it doesn't work out, then obviously we're gonna retest the 200-day line here. So it's still too early to tell. The 21-day also can be significant. It is coming back up, but it's still below the 200-day. So it's possible that this comes halfway to meet the 21-day as it comes up. So it really depends on how fast this drops. If it drops like, really fast, then in a couple of days we'll probably hit the 10 and 21-day even. So something to be aware of. Again, looks like the market are reacting on this news after hours. So whether the market tone has changed or not, I'm not sure. But we'll have to see how it closes Monday really. So stay tuned for that. So yeah, until then we won't really know. But like I said, it's good to manage risk because you have no for how because of how extended it is. The pullback could be more significant than even this two right here. In a way, the IBD 50 ETF here, we have a okay bounce on Monday, which is weaker than the index if you notice. So even though the index jumped 4%, the IBD 50 growth ETF actually only moved up. Let me see here. So only 1.88% versus the 4%. But then Tuesday, the market went up 1.6% like on Nasdaq, but then this index jumped 2.69%. In fact, on Tuesday, I saw my portfolio jump a lot more than Monday. So again, Monday and Tuesday are really good days, and Wednesday we continue to bounce, but then we saw a pullback, and Thursday morning we also dropped, but then it bounced back, and then Friday we finished like we basically closed the week at the near the highs. So this is very good. But again, because we are very extended, and this is the index, right? When we actually look at stocks, they are very well extended. So make sure you stay tuned to my growth list stock video that will come out after sometime after this video. In that video, we also talk about like how we handle like when the stock is a little bit extended, and in some cases they are more extended. How we're gonna deal with handling those situations. Okay, this year the 10-year yield, we see that it also jumped on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, but it kind of came back down Thursday and Friday. So again, we are between this 4.2 and 4.5. It did go above 4.5 on Tuesday, but it came back down to 4.4. US dollar actually peaked on Monday after the gap up. Tuesday, Wednesday it fell. Thursday it also came back. Friday it's trying to bounce a bit back to the 200-day line. So this looks like it is still in a downtrend. USO has been bouncing strong until this week. It came start coming down on Wednesday and then Thursday and Friday. So now this one also back up below the 50-day trend line. Gold has continued to pull back. We are in about 8 sessions of pullback. It's below the 10-day moving average, and yeah, it's nowhere near that 10-day line right now. So there's a high chance we break this 50-day. We could go much lower, or it could bounce from here and can come back above again. So we'll see. Bitcoin went up just a little bit on Tuesday here. Monday it didn't go up, and then Wednesday, Thursday, Friday it kind of bounce, but not very strong bounce. So it didn't make a newer high by Friday. So, but I think overall it's trading very tight, which is quite amazing. Yeah, it's only 0.8% up this week, but it is trading very tight. Retail sales also dropped a little bit in April. The Philly Fed Manufacturing Index is also lower. Looking at the New York Advanced Decline daily line here, so we are having more stocks up than down, as you can see from this chart here. Very powerful move, just like the index. So that looks pretty healthy. And then we come to Nasdaq. Nasdaq also climbing, but obviously you can see it's lagging a little bit because at this high right here we are much higher in the price, but the line is not much higher here. So in terms of number of stocks up, it's definitely lagging compared to the index. So it doesn't have as broad of a market strength in terms of number of stocks versus as S&P actually show way more strength in that. Let's go sentiment survey here from AI. You can see that for a while the bullishness is quite low. So in April 23rd we were at 21%, April 30th we were at 20%, May 7th it jumped back, but it's still quite low, 29%. And then this week we jumped back above 35%. So after the U.S. China trade deal, we see that the market participants jump back in quite a bit. So it's still lower than the bearish, but it has improved significantly. Looking at the fear greed index, we see similar activity here. Like the sentiment is now actually starting into the greed level. So again, it shows that participants are coming back into the market. So just beware that maybe we are getting into more of a normal environment. We'll see. And even in a normal environment, we expect not too much choppiness, but obviously knowing we're going after hours on Friday, we might see more volatile sessions here still. For the week, the semiconductor Nasdaq ETF did really well, up 10%. That's quite a powerful move compared to the market index. It's definitely outperforming right now. And on the daily chart, you can see it went up Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday and Friday. It kind of goes sideways. Again, it's quite extended from the 10-day right now. So if we do drop on Monday, we'll come back quite a bit more. So we're hoping to see some sort of bounce, from Monday's drop. Nvidia also put in a really strong week, up 16% for the week. It has really shown its power this week. And here's the move right here: Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Again, it's just holding tight. It is sitting again quite far off the 10-day, so it's a little bit expanded. We'll see what happens also. On the software side, it's okay. It's not as strong as the hardware side. 5.49%. So even that is underperformed the general Nasdaq. But it's still okay. It's still close, pretty strong for the week. So looking at mega cap stocks here, let's start with Microsoft. So Microsoft, you can see it kind of gap out on earnings and then it went sideways as the 10-day catch up, and then it start movement again. and then now it went sideways for the last 2 days. Again, given again, I'm assuming right now that Monday will see a gap down. So again, seeing the gap down is not a problem, but seeing how it react after that is very important. So we'll find support somewhere, and then it will jump back up. Next, we see here Google. Google also bounced back above the short-term moving averages as well as the 50-day. So right now, we're seeing some resistance on Friday here near the 200-day. So there might be a little bit more choppiness here. Meta also went back up and then came back down hard, but then it rebounded and closed near the Friday's high there. Amazon looks a little bit weaker than the other two. As you can see, it started going down on Wednesday, Thursday it gapped down, and then Friday it just didn't really move much. So we are a little bit off the highs here, and the 10-day is already getting closer right here. Going over to Apple, Apple is trying to come above this 50-day line. As you can see, it's holding up above the 50-day line. This is exactly what you want to see. So we'll see what happens next week. Tesla continue its move, very strong move. I think Friday it did close maybe a little bit higher than Wednesday's. So this looks very powerful as well. A little bit extended, but yeah, it's showing lots of some accumulation here and not much distribution. And finally, we're going to look at Netflix. Netflix seems to continue to show dominance in the mega cap area. It has very little down days. Like you can literally count. There's only 3 down days since the run from here. So it continued to run right now. It is near the 20% profit zone from this double bottom base. So yeah, showing very powerful accumulation signs here. Again, you can see there's not much distribution. So I hope this helps. And again, next week we'll go into Monday with a gap down probably. And like I say, if you follow me on the next video with growth stocks list, we'll look at some of the stocks, how extended they are, and how can we deal with managing those risks. So thank you for watching. Hope you guys enjoy your weekend. Thank you. Bye now. Please like and subscribe.